NXT TakeOver in your house. It is June 7th, 2020. This is the Wrestling Inc. podcast. I'm Glenn Rubenstein, joined by Matt Morgan and Raj Giri. Raj just came in off the golf course.
I did, yeah.
We
played some par 3 earlier with the family and some friends. And so my daughter, Sonia, 9 years old, last week got a birdie. Which,
wow.
Just drove it right on, and then a 5-foot putt.
Two and a 3 par. Nice.
Yeah, it was awesome.
That is awesome. That's impressive.
And so I told her how disappointed I was in her today because she didn't get another birdie. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Give those kids a complex, Raj. You know?
You played like shit today. No, I'm just kidding. No, it was a lot of fun.
Matt, when you were growing up, I'm sure your physical athletic prowess was recognized early on. When did your family really start getting you into sports and taking that seriously?
Right when I started special ed, I'd say first grade.
Wow.
Because I had all this energy, right? And so everyone thought I had this behavioral problem when in reality it was ADHD. So the fact that I was able to have sports be my reward really paid dividends for me. I was able to use all this energy on something, right? And then once I started growing, my dad was in the driveway with me daily getting shots up.
Wow. And look where it all ended up, in the wrestling ring, on American Gladiators.
What were your favorite sports growing up, Matt?
Baseball was first, and then basketball. Then as I got older, basketball and football.
Okay.
And
yeah, you played with Kobe, right? You played with Kobe back in the day.
Yeah, against him.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's wild.
I had the worst baseball season ever when I was 8 years old, and then we realized right after the last game that I throw and hit left-handed, not right-handed like I'd been doing all season.
Oh, no.
Yeah, but I write with my right hand. I just throw a ball with my left hand, kick with my left foot.
I wish I was lefty. I wish. I'd be pitching in MLB right now still to this day.
My wife's a lefty, but she swings a golf club, everything right-handed.
Oh, interesting. So split dexterity. Yeah, that is very rare. Anyhow, let's talk about TakeOver tonight. This was quite a throwback to the in your houses of the 90s. We had the commercials, we had the announcer, we had the graphics. In fact, this was probably the most different looking TakeOver they've had since TakeOver Brooklyn 2015, when they started using those HTML graphics with the computer code on screen and whatnot. This tonight was definitely a different show. What did you think of this, Matt, this presentation tonight and their throwbacks?
Awesome. I liked it.
It was very well done.
No Doc Hendricks. That's an automatic fail. They got Michael Hayes under contract. Just get him to get that haircut again. He can do it. But
I didn't think of that,
yeah. I do like the using the retro stuff. I feel like they should be doing that with Saturday night's main event on Raw. Just ways to mix it up, different themes. But I did like that they changed it up, and it was cool.
We opened up with the band Code Orange out there doing the theme song. That was very polarizing on Twitter. Although I have to say, the Code Orange bass player looks more intimidating than 90% of the men's roster in NXT. Like, that dude looks metal as F. And they should sign him to a developmental contract immediately. But yeah, I thought the song went on forever.
Why was it polarizing?
Some people just don't like the screaming, the screamo, as it were.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I mean, their music sucks, but...
Yes,
I thought there was another reason.
No, just the music. That's the problem with having a live performance and going all in on bands, right? I mean, we've talked about this before, but even My House, even some WrestleMania themes. I mean, if you don't hate it by the end of the run, they aren't playing it enough. You know,
except for Blinding Lights.
Yes, Raj's favorite song of the last 10 years. So we opened up with a 6-woman tag: Shotzi Blackheart, Tegan Nox, and Mia Yim versus Candice LeRae, Dakota Kai, and Raquel Gonzalez tonight. Defying expectations, Tegan Nox, Shotzi Blackheart, and Mia Yim won. But what'd you think of this match, Matt?
I thought Gonzalez looked good tonight. I've been waiting for her to show more. I thought tonight she did, actually. It was good. This was a great opening, actually.
Does she remind you of Sonya Deville in a way?
In a way, a little. I can see why you would say that, yeah.
Which is not, I mean, I think Sonya Deville's a star, but it's not a bad thing. But
Right.
Yeah. This was a good match. I mean, it's actually really nice bookends, right? Between this match opening the show, the women's main event at the end with the triple threat. Good showcases here. I thought all the women looked great in this. Not a ton of stakes. I mean, this was definitely secondary towards what happened with Keith Lee and Johnny Gargano later in the night in terms of Yim and Candice in that rivalry. But yeah, this was a great way to open up the show.
Yeah. I do feel like them taping at Full Sail, doing these shows at Full Sail, I don't know what it is. It just feels different than the Performance Center. It feels more organic. I don't know. The Performance Center is so stale, and
Right.
I just feel like this is just a much better atmosphere, even though it's still empty arena, plexiglass, developmental talent in the crowd. But I thought it was much better.
Can I just say I'd much rather talk about Cornette's podcast with what do you call it that he had,
the Revival?
FTR.
Yes.
Yeah, let's get to it after this. Yeah. I haven't heard it.
Oh, you have to. It was good.
Yeah.
Dude, they're friggin' legit badasses, dude. They come across as like the way they wrestle. Like they're like, I will punch you square in your mouth in real life. Yes, this is a work, but I can also do it to you in real life. Is like, if you go back, and the fans I know in the chat room, please tell me if you guys all heard it or watched it, and tell me you didn't get that vibe from them. It was good. And I know we have a lot of Young Buck fans in there. I'm one myself, but dude, it was good. They're doing a good job of blurring the lines if they're being blurred. And because they outright said, I know we got to get to the show, but they outright said in this interview with him that they did not take kind to the whole the Revival stuff they were doing.
Good.
To them. They didn't get permission for it. They didn't say, hey, are we cool doing this? And so they're like, you got a receipt coming.
Good, because we haven't had a chance to talk about this, but I thought their interview on Dynamite last week sucked.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wait, did I see?
Where they were talking with Tony Schiavone?
You didn't think that they looked like stars when they were throwing the bottle at the dude in his face?
Throwing the bottle.
Then there was a different interview with Schiavone then.
Oh.
That they aired today actually online.
Oh, okay.
They aired it online. It was really good. You guys got to watch it.
Okay. No, the one on Dynamite last week, I just thought it didn't make me want to see them face the Young Bucks anymore. Like it took away from it. So I don't know. We'll see.
Between that and the other podcast, I'm telling you, it was.
I gotta check that out.
Yeah, the whole way they introduced them, if they're supposed to have heat with the Bucks, I think they could have stoked those flames a little more.
Yeah, it didn't come across in that interview.
So they're not under contract, they're under a handshake deal. So I have a feeling they're going to get to it faster than we think they will.
I'm shocked. I'm kind of surprised AEW let them talk to Cornette. I know, granted, they're not under contract right now.
They're not under contract.
Right. Because Cornette rips AEW to shreds and the Bucks and Omega.
Listen to their podcast. See what they have to say about it, too, because it's not too far off.
All right. And Julian Bravo saying, I'm a Tony Schiavone hater. I love Tony Schiavone. I think he's awesome. Just to address that right now.
So after that 6-woman tag, we had Finn Balor versus Damian Priest. And defying expectations, Finn Balor picked up a win here after this brutal match, especially that spot with the stairs and Damian flying out over them. Like, that just looked ugly. Like, it hurt like crazy. But
this was the wrong decision. This was the wrong decision.
I agree.
Yeah. I was surprised with the outcome of this. I mean, Finn, unless they're building Finn back up for a reason, he doesn't need a win right now.
No, he doesn't. This doesn't build him back up either, by the way. This was a terrible decision.
Yeah, outside of Karrion Kross, I thought this was the most obvious decision would be Damian Priest beating Finn, because he needs that win. It raises him up. Finn, it does nothing for Finn.
Although I could easily see Kross defeating Finn next before he goes for the title.
Could be.
Wow, fast track.
Right? I mean, if Adam Cole's moving brands and it wasn't Dream like we saw tonight, I think Kross makes all the sense in the world.
I think they should have Kross squash him too. I'd like to,
squash
keep him.
Cole?
Yeah, keep Kross dominant. Have him be that next Brock Lesnar. I thought he looked great. We'll get to it, but I thought it was awesome.
Yeah. Then we had the North American title match, Johnny Gargano versus Keith Lee. And this match, have to give them credit. Love the in-your-house set. Love that they had the security camera on the doorbell. And love that they went to that camera angle during this match for a good portion of it.
Cool. This was awesome. This was some of my favorite part of it.
Yeah.
I love Keith Lee doing the pounce. Doing that pounce to Gargano through the plexiglass. It's about time they did that.
Yeah. No, this looked really good.
I gotta say, Gargano as a heel, I just don't buy it. I'm watching it. It's like you're watching a bad, like a Nickelodeon TV show where someone's playing a character. Gargano, I don't buy it. I don't buy him as a heel. He's just too likable. To
be fair, it's impossible. There's a situation I used to find myself in versus AJ. When he'd be the heel, I'd be the face. It would be so difficult for people to believe he's a real jerk, number one. Nobody bought that ever. He did the coolest moves on top of it. And then you had big, boring me. You know what I mean? Like, who's supposed to be getting, like, cheers.
Right.
And it was so backwards.
Yeah,
This doesn't do him
you should have been the heel. You should have been that giant killer heel, and AJ's the Jack and the Beanstalk kind of thing.
And they would have worked. This definitely would have worked. Although Keith Lee's so likable, though. Right?
I know. Yeah, Keith Lee can't be a heel either. The one guy I'd say, Daniel Bryan. He's the one that you would see and you'd be like, that guy can never be a heel, and he still did it great when he did it.
What a testament, right?
Yeah.
Seriously, that's such a compliment. It really is a compliment. What a good worker he is.
Wow, he's a genius. But yeah, Johnny Gargano, it just comes across as a performance. I'm not a fan of his heel character. But Keith Lee, he had the Black Lives Matter on his trunks, which was a cool touch. Yeah, I mean, Keith Lee he's the man. I see him on the main roster sooner than later.
Yeah, he looked great tonight. Great picking up a win. At some point, Candice and Mia came out and got involved in this match, but Lee had a decisive victory with the Big Bang Catastrophe, the pin and the win. Up until that last spot with Io flying off the roof. The security camera touch was so nice during this. This was so well done. Really, really fun match.
Alonzo Smith noting that Gargano always loses at TakeOver. What is his? If someone in the chat, what is his win-loss record at TakeOvers? I'm kind of curious because it's probably like 2-11 or something like that. Justin Lopez with the $5 super chat thought it was time for Lee to drop and move on to the main roster. Dude was the hottest guy at one time on all three shows, getting rubs from Roman and Brock. Yeah,
yes,
absolutely.
He's right.
Their timing, they jacked it up with him because. There was a ton of buzz around him, even with the Brock, stare down at the Royal Rumble.
Leon Moore.
Heel Rock on the golf course. Did they open the clubhouse open again at your golf club?
They do. Yeah, they have the clubhouse. We didn't do that, but yeah, they do have them open now. Just this weekend.
What do you do if your kids weren't there and you're with your buddies? What would you guys normally do in the clubhouse?
Well, I played yesterday with just my buddies, and what we've been doing is usually afterwards we'll have a drink on the lawn, like the lawn in front. Yesterday we just had this freak rainstorm come in, so otherwise we were going to sit in the patio.
Here.
Oh, really?
We had a tornado last night. Swear to God.
It felt like that when we were on the 18th hole. All of a sudden, it was just blowing us over. It was crazy. A tornado in Longwood.
Maitland, around Central Florida, but it touched Maitland, like the next town over from me.
Oh wow!
2 towns.
Jeez.
We could see it. We could see the cloud, the funnel. It was crazy.
Wow, that's crazy. Bruce Bennett noting that Shawn Michaels was 6-11 at WrestleMania. That's a good point. Bruce is a big part of our Saturday Night's Main Event podcast that we're doing on Thursday nights, and he knows. And Gargano is 4-12 at takeovers.
Wow!
What great call, Raj.
Nice.
Did you say 2-11? Good call.
Yeah.
Just a little bit pointing out, I believe this was from the FTR interview.
Yes, it was.
Too much like Arn and Tully.
And they're like, "Thank you. That's such a compliment."
I know. It's like you're too much like the Road Warriors.
Yeah.
Antoine Fair, we'll talk about this in a few moments, but saying, no, pardon me, let me go back to the other one. Sorry, these are scrolling all over the place. Antoine Fair says he knows he's early, but when Kross did that Northern Lights into the clothesline, it's time to finish this. It made him look like a Mortal Kombat character. We were talking about that the other night, sort of calling out the end of the match. Good touch. There was a lot to like
and
tonight.
T. Smitty pointing out, I'm glad WWE didn't book Lee to lose while wearing Black Lives Matter gear. P.S. Good luck, Matt.
Yeah.
Thanks, T. Smitty. Thank you.
Speaking of which, Matt, everybody's been asking for your campaign. How can they make a donation? And Raj, we've got the info right here.
Text Blueprint to 22525. You guys hear Matt all the time on this show. You know he's a good dude. Support his campaign. Text Blueprint 22525. Do it.
Awesome. You guys are awesome. Thank you.
Of course.
Thank you. And thanks in advance to the chat room. For real. Thank you, guys.
So we had this backstage brawl, or the backlot brawl, pardon me, for the NXT title, Velveteen Dream versus Adam Cole. And this was the Full Sail backlot. I did not know they had a backlot there. We had cars in a circle with their headlights on. We had a ring in the middle of it. These entrances, I mean, this
Who's
was
that guy?
Yes, very greased too. Very greased too. It only would have been cooler if Velveteen Dream would have rode up on a motorcycle and jumped over the ring first.
That he hand built.
Yes, he hand built the motorcycle.
Or they come in snapping their fingers when they're coming out.
That's West Side Story, Raj. That's an entirely different music.
Damn it.
I've
never seen either of those.
Wait, you've never seen West Side Story or Grease 2? You've seen Grease 1?
No, I haven't seen Grease.
That's the first one?
No. My wife loves it, but I refuse to watch it. No way.
Why would you refuse to watch that?
Because look at the poster.
But when you were a little kid, you didn't. Seriously?
No, never saw it. I saw the very end when they're like flying off, and I'm like, I'm never gonna watch this movie. It's
Grease 1 is surprisingly filthy for like a musical that children loved, and that all the kids of our generation knew the words to the songs.
With the song.
Yeah, listen to lyrics like Greased Lightning, and like that is like some 2 Live Crew level shit in a children's musical.
eBag TV saying Grease is on TV right now. That is a frightening
Grease is always on TV.
icon he's got.
Always. It's always on somewhere.
Yeah. So Steve Marcuccioli asking with his super chat, with Dream losing, do you want to see him on Raw or SmackDown? Dream versus AJ would be money for the Intercontinental title.
Ooh. He'd be made if he pinned AJ Styles for that Intercontinental Championship.
The open challenge?
Yeah, that'd be nice.
That would be something. I thought that this match was really good production. Liked the Uber spot. Loved the spot with Cole going onto the windshield, of the car. I thought that there was just a lot to love in this match. With the outcome, I was surprised. I really thought this was Dream's time to win and take that title.
Me too. Dream seems to lose a lot.
Yeah. He does on these. He's supposed to be moving to the main roster soon. Actually, Io Shirai as well. But she won the title tonight. But, Dream, it's one of those, without the fans, it's just not the same with him. Without the crowds. Like, he works so much better with the crowds that
he does.
I'd like to see them wait until they got crowds back before Dream moves to the main roster. I think it'd be way more effective. He just...
Because we want him to be successful, right? We love him, and we're very worried about him getting pulled up to Raw and SmackDown. I'm terrified of it.
Yeah.
Vince is gonna get his hands on him finally, and I don't like it.
I know. It is frightening. And you're seeing already, Shayna Baszler, all these other... Who are the tag team that was there for like 2 weeks? That MVP was managing for like 2 weeks. Why I can't remember their names.
Nobody knows their names.
Well, name the rest of them. Samoa Joe, FTR, the Revival, rather.
Yeah. Everyone.
Nakamura,
Ascension.
Yeah. Rude,
Was
Ascension,
it Oni Lorcan one of them?
No. Jesus.
Shane.
Thorn and Vink. Yes, thank you.
Thorn and
Ripper.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
The one Thorn and Vink fan in the entire audience.
Thank you, guys. There's a lot of people now saying Brendan Vink and Shane Thorne, yes. But yeah, they were there for 2 weeks and just disappeared.
There were a lot of camera cuts in this match. It was a little excessive.
Yeah, I thought this match sucked. I didn't like it. Yeah, I thought it. I I just found myself losing interest as it was going on and on. And
the reason I liked it, dude, was because there was no fans there, and because of that, anything aesthetically that's different, I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
I usually kind of like it, except if it includes the Viking Warriors, the Raiders. I can't even say their name right.
We need to get that wrestling bingo that guy made that one day.
Homeboy. I call everybody homeboy if I don't remember their name. Or old boy.
Yeah. So I like the setting. I thought it looked cool. I like the headlights and everything. But yeah, just as it was going along, I don't know. I'm done with. I like Adam Cole, but I think he's just stale right now in NXT. I feel like the NXT top area is really stale. When I think about like when Finn Balor was on top and you had Samoa Joe and Shinsuke Nakamura. We're a far cry from that right now, and
oh my god, yes, big time.
I thought the Uber spot. Yeah, some people are saying they liked it. I thought it was forced. I don't know. It just seemed corny.
I was hoping they were going to go to a second location with the car stuff there. I was hoping this was going to be a little more like the original Backlot Brawl and change locales a few times.
Yeah, Brian thought it was a great match. The Panama Sunrise to the chairs with a sick bump. That was cool.
Yeah.
Alonzo Smith saying Dexter Loomis under the ring for some reason. He's a serial killer.
Oh yeah,
posing as a pro wrestler. Yeah. Dexter Loomis, I think it's like Apollo Crews. When it's too obvious where the name comes from, it takes away.
Right. Yep.
Like Dexter's clearly Dexter from the show, and Loomis is from the Scream movies. Just I
don't think they got it from the Scream movies. I don't think that's what they're calling.
Absolutely, yes.
Wait, Billy Loomis is not that famous of a reference. Most people can't even name.
Right, but Voorhees would have been way too on the nose. So.
Wow.
I was thinking.
It's definitely from that.
No, I was thinking Loomis from Halloween.
Isn't that where the Scream reference is from? It's from.
Yeah, I believe they were referencing the Doctor in Halloween.
Raj, you did not come up with this because you watch no movies, obviously. Who told you this?
No, I've seen Scream 1,000 times. As soon as
I can't believe you remember that name though.
Absolutely, Billy Loomis, yeah.
And what was his friend's name?
What's that?
What was his friend's name?
Matt Lillard?
Yes, what was Matt Lillard's character's name?
What was his name?
Shaggy.
Shaggy.
Even the first name.
And your mom is no Sharon Stone.
Yes.
I remember that one.
Stu,
yes.
Well, Glenn, do you want to dissect the fact that Scream is so influential in Raj Giri's life?
I mean, I too enjoyed the Scream films. I even liked the fourth one. I thought they were all good.
I thought the fourth was better than the second and the third.
Third one really was the worst.
Yeah.
Courtney Cox was great in that. Yeah. Courtney Cox was awesome in that.
Yeah, once they started having Aunt Jackie as the villain, it was like, okay, this is kind of shit.
Yeah.
I was really surprised in the second one when that she was like behind the whole thing. Like the reveal in the second one, I thought was very, very well done. Anyhow, they're rebooting the Scream franchise again. Yes.
Wow, we're old.
And David Arquette, friend of the site, we've had him on the podcast a lot of times. He's back for it, so he's back from the dead.
Cool.
Anyhow, we could talk about Scream for many more hours. You know, they shot it 30 minutes from where I live up in Healdsburg. They shot the Scream films. Oh my god. But anyhow, let's talk about.
But Adam Cole beating Velveteen Dream, I think it's a bad look for Dream to lose so often. He should have had a big win on a takeover, you know.
Should.
Anyway.
Should.
Yes. I think the chat's trolling me right now with some of their Scream references.
So, Anthony's saying Dewey didn't die. He died in 4, didn't he? I could have sworn he died in 4.
I only saw 4 once. That's the one I've seen the least.
I could have sworn he died. Anyway.
Are you all saying that Matt's about to lose his mind right now? Is that in the chat room at the moment? I'm joking, God.
All right, let's text 22525. Is that right?
22525.
Yeah, 22525.
Right.
Thanks, guys.
So let's talk about Karrion Kross versus Tommaso Ciampa tonight. And as predicted, this was a short match, not an all-out squash, but the next closest
Dude.
thing. This was like 5 minutes long.
How excited is they have a huge superstar on their hands right here.
This was awesome.
Now, when he first was rumored to come here, because he was with TNA, I was fearful that they would make him, go to practice every day, pay your dues, brother, all that stuff before they'd even bring him to TV. So they started showing the commercials for him and the vignettes. You know what I mean? It was exciting. I still was being pessimistic about it, but there is no mistaking what they're doing with him. And that's great because he looks like a star.
You know what this reminded me of? It reminded me of the Brock Lesnar-John Cena match at SummerSlam, like 4 or 5 years ago, where Brock was just dominant. It was uncomfortable. He was dominant. There was no question who was the dominant guy in that match.
Were you surprised to see that though, with who his opponent was though?
I was.
Super over.
But I think it made it that much more effective because they did that.
Yes. Like John Cena, good call. Yeah.
Yeah, because Ciampa is kind of like him and Gargano are kind of like the face of NXT in a lot of ways.
I've seen him that way. Yeah.
Yeah, Terrible Trey 89, Buck 99 super chat saying carrying Kross screams superstar. But I think that's the difference. I mean, Ciampa, and I love Tommaso Ciampa. I think as a person, he's a really interesting guy. His personal journey is great. I think he's great in the ring. He's done some great character stuff. But I think Ciampa, and I want to be proven wrong on this, but I feel like Ciampa hit his ceiling as champion in that rivalry with Gargano. Yeah. I think he's now going to put other talent over, and I think probably end up being a very respected trainer and perennial figure in NXT.
I hope he gets another shot because I don't think he got one. They put him in a tag team with his lifetime opponent in Gargano as a makeshift tag team. Then they got hurt. Yeah, they got knocked back down to NXT. I don't feel he got a legit single opportunity up there.
I do think NXT is his ceiling. If he goes to the main roster within 6 months, he'll be kind of.
He looks short on the main roster.
Yeah.
But they're not going to know what to do with him. They're going to have the same problem they have with him that they have with Sanity. I think Vince isn't going to see it. I mean, maybe he can get Rowan's old cage. Or they could team up and get those Bludgeon Brothers masks out. I don't think Vince...
And Vince might be right. There's a lot of these calls, the Ascension were not really main eventers. They were great in NXT. It worked for that audience. But you look at them on the main roster, it just wasn't there. And I just don't think Gargano or Ciampa, both of them, I think they're NXT lifers on the main roster. They won't do well.
But, I mean, when you look at it and think about it, though, I mean, if they can make even $250,000 a year in NXT, not have to travel, have the lighter schedule, and more longevity there where there's always a place for them, I mean, I don't know. That seems like a pretty sweet way to, have a career.
Most people are not making $250,000.
No, I understand that. But isn't that roughly the ceiling? The ceiling a couple of years ago was $200,000, I think? Was the old ceiling in NXT, and then Finn,
guys like Finn and Nakamura, they have different deals. So
yeah,
but I wouldn't think Ciampa and Gargano would be, I'm sure they're probably around that. I would guess.
Yeah,
Ciampa looked jacked tonight. He's been he looks ripped.
He does always, no?
Yeah.
I think he looks always really ripped, man. That's why I like him.
But I think that's the thing. I think you take that gamble, you go up to the main roster, and if you become the next EC3,
right,
it's kind of it. At that point, it's either AEW or Impact.
For that. There's no excuse for that with EC3. I'm sorry.
Yeah, they pissed all over themselves on that one.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. Matt, if you were in NXT and you were making, let's say, low six figures in NXT, and someone said you could go to the main roster, but it could be over there in 6 months, you could be done with this company, or you could just stay in NXT for the next couple of years, making what you're making now, doesn't that seem like a pretty safe bet if that's, if there's an open door for you there?
Oh, I told you. I think I'd rather stay in NXT.
Yeah.
Well, Matt's a different story because Matt's got the size. He's got the look that they'd like on the main roster, so there's much more chance for success. But if you're a smaller guy, then it's a lot riskier,
Yeah.
EC3 I still don't get because he has everything that they like. But
such a good promo.
Yeah, but the Imperium or any of those guys, I think are way better off in NXT than the main roster.
Yeah.
Oni Lorcan.
Yes.
So this was a little moment tonight, but I am actually so looking forward to this. Robert Stone in the audience when they showed him looking disheveled and heartbroken because Chelsea Green left him. Like, I really hope he just goes off the deep end with his character in the coming weeks in NXT. I think that could be really good television.
He's good. He's already shown he can, with TNA, he can do outrageous characters and outrageous gears that character has to shift into.
Yeah.
Because he was so much better than having to do the Jersey Bro stuff that he did. And he pulled it off and got it over. He'll get this over.
He gets over. Character. And that's a hard thing to get nowadays. You see a lot of guys that don't, and he gets it. He's a star. I'm surprised he's not wrestling because he has the physique, the look. But as a manager, I gotta assume that he's gonna get some. Chelsea Green is rumored to be going to the main roster, so I gotta think that he's gonna be he's got to get someone big.
But that's got to be a great gig, though, too. If you could just stay there, not wrestle. They haven't really had that. They haven't had managers. They try, like, early on with, like, Sylvester Lefort and some of these guys to have them be independent characters. But I like that you have a manager character in NXT. The talent can come and go, but they've got a perennial role. Like, I think that could be a really sweet gig for him if he plays this right and they give him something interesting next. Because we've got Regal. Regal's the only central figure.
Okay.
We've seen in the past that an effective manager makes all the difference in the world. You see it with Zelina Vega right now. Give him a chance,
Yep.
So the main event tonight, the triple threat for the NXT Women's title, we had Io Shirai versus Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Flair. And I don't think any of us predicted this, but Io Shirai got the win as the new NXT Women's Champion. Very competitive match. All three women looked phenomenal in this. It seemed like it could go any way for the majority of it. Io jumping off the house set there, which was fantastic. And she ended up getting the win when Flair was trying to get her hold locked in on Ripley, sneaking in there and pinning Ripley, which was great because, Barbara, not sneaking, doing the backflip on that. So it was actually kind of an inversion of how Rhea got that win on Charlotte while Charlotte was doing the submission back in the build-up to Survivor Series. Tonight we had Io sit there. I thought she was going to backflip off the turnbuckle onto Charlotte and instead hit Rhea and got that win.
So for fans that didn't see this, you totally just got mind blown right there with that amazing dissertation. Because you have to see it to what he's talking about to really understand it. He's right, though. That is how it went down. I did not predict this at all. I thought for sure, I think I said Charlotte. No?
Yeah. Charlotte, or I think Rhea was our dark horse candidate.
Oh, I did. I said Charlotte, and then, oh, crap. I don't remember what I said. I might have said Rhea, actually. Chat, you'll remember. Go ahead.
I thought it was going to be Charlotte. I thought Charlotte was going to have, Rhea was going to have Charlotte beat, and then Io does something, and then Charlotte pins Io, and then Io goes to the main roster, and then you got Rhea and Charlotte at the next show for the title.
That's what it was, and I said Rhea would go over on her there, hopefully. So This was great for Io. This was awesome for her. But what is going on? What does Rhea have to do here? I don't know. Like, she was smoking. She was white hot. Like, better than red hot, folks. Like, seriously, she was white hot on fire. Super over. And they've done nothing to resuscitate her. Nothing.
No, I mean, this is usually what they do when they've lost faith in someone. We've seen it. We see it time and time again.
What did she do wrong?
I don't get it.
Did her wrong.
I don't get it.
Don't know. Yeah,
having her chase her.
But doesn't it seem like? Doesn't it seem that way?
Please wrestle me for the title. Please wrestle me for this title. Please. At WrestleMania, if you could do it, please. It was terrible. Right, yeah. Terrible.
And then you get your ass kicked.
No, you know what it is? It's that main roster creative in the production and build up to WrestleMania got a hold of Rhea, decided we're going to make her this like weird baby face who's starstruck by the opportunity to wrestle Charlotte Flair. And it just made her look like a chump. I mean, this woman was such a natural, like, badass anti-hero baby face, everything you could want in a women's champion. Building up the end of last year, and they just main roster creative punked her out, man. With that WrestleMania
but
build.
This isn't main roster creative now. Now she's
I know,
in NXT.
But what do you do now? Yeah. And now you've got Triple H, who I believe on the call that's going on right now.
I'm getting some texts about it.
Yeah, is talking about how he's
that
really
was Nick's
high
question about Charlotte. Yeah.
Yeah, saying that Io Shirai is a game-changing talent. This is the future of the NXT Women's Division.
Wow.
And
Wow.
yeah, it's a new era now that she's NXT Women's Champion. I'm telling you, like, I think that this was his move. That maybe they thought that Rhea was damaged goods after that WrestleMania loss, and also being off TV probably didn't help her for the month after Mania.
I do got to say with Charlotte, you look at her in that ring, she does come across just way above everyone in the business, in my opinion, as far as star power.
She the best female. I'm telling you, I've said it for a year. I think she's the best female wrestler of all time right now.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And she carries that confidence. She looks like a star. She carries herself like a superstar. So I mean, she's just so much ahead of everyone right now. But at the same time, Rhea, you keep beating her, you just lose all that stuff that that had been built for her, and they've done it.
Josh Miller, 2 super chats. It did look like Rhea caught a knee to the face.
Yeah, but that didn't change the ending. I mean, that was the plan finish.
But they've got to rebuild Rhea, I think, and this could be good. Her versus Io. Like, I don't want to see Rhea. I mean, I don't want to see her pushed aside yet. I think I think that I would like to see Charlotte stick around in NXT. I want to see more women's feuds, not less. It's got to be about more than the title at this point. And I think Rhea, she just needs a real story. That's what's been missing from this whole thing too, by the way. It's like with Shayna, Rhea had a story, but Rhea, this whole Charlotte stan thing hasn't been working.
Peter Baroni saying you're overthinking it. Rhea's getting called. They haven't lost faith in her. She still needs to be Charlotte. I think it. I just think it just hurts her by not getting that win.
Leonza Duncan, $5. Can the internet wrestling community finally admit how great Charlotte is? What a surprise! Yes. Another great match, a performance by her. She's the best. She looked okay. So here's
thank you, Leon.
We've been saying it since the beginning.
Here's the best compliment I can give to Charlotte in this match and the other women in this match. At WrestleMania, it looked like Charlotte was going down to NXT. All the women to me tonight looked like they were on the same level. So I think that it has worked by having her there. I think that Charlotte fits and she elevated her competition.
She raises everyone up, yeah. And you know what?
You could give a wrestler, by the way.
If you had to pick 3 women for a triple... Oh, sorry, go ahead, Matt.
Go ahead. It's the best compliment you can give a wrestler, by the way.
Yeah. I was just thinking, like, if you could pick 3 women for a triple threat match, this would be it. These 3.
Oh, yeah.
Of all of American wrestling, like between AEW or WWE or Impact, these would be the 3. I mean, I think they are, in their own ways, the 3 best women right now in wrestling in a lot of ways.
Where do you put Blanchard in there?
Oh, yeah. Tessa would be above. I think I'd put her above Rhea.
Rhea?
Yeah.
Okay. So do you think barring what Triple H said tonight, exploding all over himself about her, about Io there, that's a huge claim he threw out.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Charlotte's still there. That's your whatever, nonetheless.
Right.
Charlotte, I would put Rhea in there, and then I'd put Tessa.
Yeah.
Justin Lopez, $5, saying Charlotte not getting pinned makes me think she's getting it back, especially with EO main roster rumors. I agree with you, though. Charlotte's the GOAT.
I think it's a one-on-one match for sure.
Wow.
Yeah.
Great, too.
Mm-hmm.
Rhea should almost be... they should almost book her with the size difference because she is so towering. They should book her more as a monster now, I think, because she towers over most women. She could do a lot
with
athletic. That. You think so?
She's so athletic, though. I think if she gets toward the end of her career, she could start doing that and get away with it. But right now, she is so shredded, lean, and more importantly, she's athletic as hell. She does cool athletic moves.
Yeah.
Yeah, she doesn't look overly, imposing.
What's her name?
Right.
Like Nia.
Right.
Whatever,
Well, but the reason I'm saying that is I think Rhea needs to stop being a babyface. Maybe turn her heel at this point. Let's do something and get her dominance back in the ring.
That would be good. She should be dominant. I agree.
I'm telling you, that WrestleMania promo for her sitting in the stands, looking like she was tearing up, that was the worst thing they could have done for her.
She was wide-eyed rookie the minute she did that, and I was like, "Oh my God, what are you doing? Stop!"
Hicks is saying I'm reaching. Okay, name three others that are better.
You spelled your wrong. You spelled your wrong. I'm the worst at that for the record.
I'm the same
worst.
Well, yeah. The autocorrect sometimes can be your enemy too on these phones.
Yes.
Anyhow, this was a great match to close it out. And I love that they did the streamers and confetti at the end. I thought they didn't make enough of a big deal about that. That looked fantastic.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Morrow mentioned it.
Well, he did mention it, but it was like off the air. I don't know.
Right.
Like, do we even see them go into the ring? I think they were showing us a replay, and then we cut back in, and the ring was flooded with everything.
Yeah.
It was cool. I thought it was cool.
Yeah.
It was good. This was a good takeover tonight. I mean, there's never a bad takeover, but this exceeded my expectations. How about you guys?
Yes, but because of the last two matches really, in my opinion, it went from third gear to fifth gear because of those last two. I mean, I didn't expect that title change to happen like that.
Yeah.
So in the women's match, I did not expect that. And then obviously Kross, that's my favorite part of tonight, to be honest. The way he won.
I agree. I thought this was and this is going to sound negative, but I thought it was the weakest takeover we've seen yet. But, a lot of that has to do with the crowds and, where they are and that adds to it.
Definitely.
But,
especially in NXT. Of all the shows, Raj, I'm sorry, that get interfered the most and affected the most negatively by not having fans, it's NXT. The fans are the sixth man there.
Yeah. A couple of people responding. Charlotte, Taya, Nyla Rose. No, not over Io and Tessa, in my opinion, or Rhea.
No, but I like the Taya call in there.
Yeah.
Taya's underrated again for some reason. Go ahead.
Oh, terrible trade with the 1999 Super Chat. Well, thank you. A lot of times WWE takes away the edge someone has when they're moved to the main roster. Take Bobby Roode, for example. Yeah. Turning him face after moving up to SmackDown was the worst thing they could have done. Absolutely.
Yes. I agree. Good call. Great call.
Yeah. I mean, we said that from the beginning. As soon as Bobby Roode showed up, we're like, why is he a babyface? This is a big mistake.
And the gimmick they gave Dolph was... Yeah, I'm sorry, Matt.
Why not just take the 1999 and text it to 22525?
22525. Text blueprint.
Yes.
But
you're right. What you were saying. You're right.
Oh, okay. This just drives me crazy. I saw it first, saying, Raj, without Charlotte having her dad's last name, you think she can be as great as she is now? We have seen so many wrestlers with their dad's last name that don't make it. She is a star. It has nothing to do. She just.
I would argue the biggest dude. That's like Michael Jordan's kids. It's the biggest shadow possible.
Mm-hmm.
Of all time, I would argue. Next to Hulk Hogan's kids showing up to try to wrestle.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Absolutely. It's like Joe Hennig, Mike DiBiase, Ted DiBiase's kids. They just could never get out of that. It's a big shadow.
Here's the thing. They should get opportunity probably in the beginning, because, of course. Duh. Right. Same with Rock's daughter. But it's what you do once you get that door open, right? The door gets cracked open only so much for that stuff. And then, obviously, Charlotte has just steamrolled that door right off the hinges.
Yeah. A few others. Bianca, Sasha, and Io. Sasha could be.
No, Sasha. No,
but not with the work she's done. Yeah. In NXT, though.
Belair. I like that.
Bianca. Yeah, she could be there.
They're so stacked. That damn women's division is so stacked. It's so good.
Yeah.
And that's why I don't see Charlotte. Maybe after Backlash, Charlotte goes back to Raw. But I don't see it right now.
I didn't think they needed her. I'm being dead serious. I'm not against her.
Right.
I think the women's division was awesome without her, even.
What about
this is a good one real quick. Yeah. Justin Toner saying the top 5: Flair, Asuka, Tessa, Rio, and Io. I can't argue that.
That's the best list we've seen so far, I'll say.
Yeah, I agree.
What about now? Who do they have for Bayley on SmackDown to face for the title?
Well, they're building to Sasha eventually. Now they're the women's tag team champions.
But this is why they've got to pull some of these NXT girls to that show.
Yeah, but I mean, they've got so much talent they're not using. What's Carmella up to on SmackDown? I feel like we don't get enough. Still,
that's true.
It's actually kind of weird now if you think about how many matches the women get. It's still very
what
low.
shows the glow on?
SmackDown.
There I go again with my name.
Naomi.
Yes. Naomi's amazing. Like, she's another one that doesn't get enough run.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing.
And her promos have improved too.
Oh, she's
been ready. Ready.
She's one of those total package where she's got charisma, everything.
They need a women's show, man. I mean, they do. If they're not gonna tip this more on Raw and SmackDown,
I think it just waters it down.
I said that before you, though, for the record.
Yeah. I think it just waters it down. Look at 205 Live.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, but like
really,
205 Live. Name 3 talents you would tune in to watch on 205 Live every week.
But that's what it would be with the women's show. No one's going to watch it. Yeah, it's on the network. It's one of those that's not getting pushed. It's just another forgettable show when there's so much wrestling on every week.
I want it on the E channel.
I guarantee
people used to say that. Yeah, I mean, if they did have a network deal, that's a different thing. But I doubt they'd get a network deal.
I guarantee you, Dana Brooke, who is treated like a third-tier women's talent, Dana Brooke has more fans than the top wrestler on 205 Live.
You're talking about the internet. When you would see her in front of an actual crowd, she gets no reaction.
What? No. But that's how she's booked. What we're talking about is real life, like your family and friends that you haven't seen in a while. Like, hey, I've been watching this show on the E channel, the Diva show, I think it's called. All the girls that are on that show get so over. They should be maximizing that by stretching that into an actual all-women's wrestling show right after it. I don't know why they don't do this.
If they could do it on the E network or something, absolutely. But
you guys know what I'm talking about, though, right? Fans in the chat room too. Think about your friends and family that have randomly just come up to you when you talk about wrestling, or if you're watching it, and they're like, "Oh, is that true about John Cena and so and so that they broke up?" And because they saw it on the E show, like, a lot of people watch that.
I remember one time I was in Vegas playing poker, and everyone at the table knew the Bella Twins from Total Bellas. Like, they were talking about the Bellas. Like, they didn't know any of the wrestlers. They didn't know Roman Reigns or anyone. They knew the girls from Total Bellas.
That's what I'm telling you. 205 Live, man. Like, the closest thing it ever had to a must-watch superstar was Enzo for that brief period of time.
Or Austin Aries.
That brief. I loved Austin Aries.
I loved Austin too, but
I get what you mean, Glenn. They didn't push him like that.
Yeah, 205 Live is an afterthought. You know, a women's show could be money.
Oh yeah.
And they have so much.
205
talent.
Live is an annoyance. Like, you know, like
well, probably to Vince. Yeah.
It's like, we have to cover this. No one watches it. No one cares.
Why is that still on? And that's no disrespect to the talent that's on it, but would you have thought here in 2020, June 2020, with all the cuts WWE's, it must cost them nothing to produce, and the talent must be making less than NXT talent.
No, I'm sure they're making less, but they're probably in the hole with it because they're not making money off of it. It's on the network, unless they're getting, small amounts on the international TV deals, and they're having to pay these contracts.
Yeah.
So you're paying, whatever it is, 15 guys for 205 Live.
Are there even 15 cruiserweights anymore?
I gotta think so, right?
I don't know. Like, this is.
I honestly haven't watched 205 Live.
Raj covers wrestling for a living. Wrestling pays his bills, and he doesn't have a clue how many guys are on the 205 Live.
I have no idea. I mean, I could tell you if I want.
Raj knows more about Impact Wrestling and Ring of Honor than he does 205 Live.
Yeah.
Knows more about NWA than 205 Live.
I could
Raj
tell
knows
you
more about MLW and wrestling events. What was it, Barbados that you went to? Than he knows about 205 Live.
I could tell you the last Saturday night's main event card in 1987, but I could not tell you who wrestled on 205 Live last week.
Yeah. Anyhow. We got some super chats, Raj. Why don't you click those dollar bills and toss them up?
Okay, here we go. Here's the roster for 205 Live, real quick. Arya Daivari, Danny Burch, Jack Gallagher, Swerve Scott, Joaquin Wilde, Mark Andrews, Noam Dar, Oni Larkin, Raul Mendoza, Samir Singh, Sunil Singh, Ryan Kendrick, Tony Nese, and Tyler Breeze.
Ryan Kendrick's still there?
Yeah.
Good, I'm happy for him. Actually.
So it's actually 14 guys considered to be part of 205 Live.
There you have it.
Good for Brian Kendrick. Think about that. He's been there for a while now.
I think he's too. I think he's too talented to be on 205 Live in a way because he's one of those guys that has the character. I think
Yep.
he was great when he had Ezekiel Jackson, when they were doing their thing.
Oh yes, TBK.
Yeah.
Brian Kendrick.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's see some super chats. Ghost House JD, $2. Can you guys give a shout out to my girlfriend, Courtney Majors?
Ooh.
Yes. Hi, Courtney.
Hi, Courtney.
I could have done. Yeah, we would have done that for free. What's up, Courtney?
What else do we got in the super chats here? Let me jump around a little bit. Joe Cafaro, $1.99. Enzo made 205 relevant and fun to watch. Now it sucks.
Did. Yes.
That's right.
Disco Scotty, $5, saying we're nuts. Everyone knows Eva Marie is the greatest of all time.
She had a good character. Like they never got to go all the way with it because
the all red everything seemed pretty cool.
Right, where she kept doing she had the wardrobe malfunction to get out of matches and things like that. It was I was curious where it was going, and then
that match for the NXT Women's title she had with Bayley was brilliant. They trolled everyone. Corporate sent down a separate referee. Nia Jax interfered. They thought they were going to screw Bayley over and give Eva the title in that match. It was so entertaining. But yeah, Eva, not as a wrestler, but as an entertainer, she was very effective as a heel.
She had the wellness violation, and then after that, she just never came back. So
yeah.
Ben Gibson.
She's been very successful since.
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. New Japan's going to announce the future of their company tonight at midnight Eastern, 9 Pacific. Yeah, so it looks like they're going to be returning to shows with fans next month.
Huh? New Japan is.
Oh man, I've been missing it. So,
really?
Oh man, shows with fans.
Shows with fans. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean
tonight,
it's a step.
I love tonight the banging on the plexiglass from the performers in the crowd. Like tonight felt
yes,
very normal.
We got to see people that were emotionally invested in what they were watching. It felt like
yeah.
So Mr. Christopher saying, I'm losing street cred over putting over Eva. She was awful. Not as a character, as someone you care about. And that's the most important part of wrestling.
No, here's the most important part of this evening. P.S. 2 of the 3 of us have no street cred to begin with. And the chat room fills up with Matt.
Yeah. Well, I don't think you should say I'm the only one with street cred. I'd like to say you guys have some.
I don't even live on a street. I live in a complex. Yeah.
So we got some exclusive news here on Wrestling Inc.
Let's do it.
So they taped Backlash tonight at the Performance Center. So it's not live. They taped it tonight. And they got tapings the next few days. Tomorrow they're doing tomorrow's Raw and this week's SmackDown 205 Live main event. And then, so the greatest wrestling match ever has happened. It happened today.
So when did they tape the NXT thing?
They did it. So that was live. So they taped Backlash earlier in the day.
Oh, before it?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. What else? They're redesigning. I haven't posted an article on this yet, but they're redesigning the U.S. title and the NXT titles. People are really into belts, so.
I am.
Yeah. I mean, I got my. Where is my WWE? Whoa, shit. Oh, there it is. I thought it was stolen. It's there. All right. Everything's all right.
That was awesome. You're welcome, chat room fans. That was awesome.
Adam Cole.
I love NWO Raj.
Yeah. Yeah, Raj, pick up the belt and play it like a guitar. Come on.
What about hey guys? What about last? What was it? Last night, the night before, Raj kept playing the music.
Blinding Lights. I love that song, man. It's awesome.
Good Lord.
So Adam Cole is supposedly going to the main roster. Actually, his contract is coming up. The word I got.
Right?
What's that?
It's up in August, right?
Yeah. That's what I was told. There were a couple people that are saying he had re-signed last year. When I double checked, that doesn't appear to be the case. So if he's coming up in August and they've re-signed him, they're obviously going to have to put a lot more money on the table, which would indicate that they'd probably move him to the main roster, kind of similar to Matt Riddle. Just it's too much money for NXT. And he would be a huge get for AEW. I mean, he fits in, there. So I'm sure they don't want him to go.
Yeah. I mean, what are they going to do with the NXT title? I mean, do you think Kross takes it off of him sooner rather than later?
I think so. I think Kross, he just has to work on a couple of his mannerisms a little bit. There were a couple times I thought watching him where it seems a little forced, it seems a little comical, but I think he's the guy. He's of the guys in NXT that I can see headlining a WWE pay-per-view. Him, Velveteen Dream if they don't screw him up, and
Big if.
And Damian Priest. I could see him too.
Yes.
Although with Priest, I think not getting that win tonight.
That's NXT.
It's hurt.
Yeah.
It's just not it's not as much of a call up when they get called up after losing on NXT though.
Right.
Well,
but when you look at the people that have been successful from NXT and WWE,
the Elias factor.
Alexa Bliss. It's the ones that weren't really big in NXT that because they have character and charisma, they got over. Whereas your Chad Gables and those guys, the Revival, they didn't.
We could see it though. Do you see that with him with charisma?
Like Damian Priest
and get on the main roster like an Elias did.
Yeah,
I wouldn't have thought Baron Corbin either, but he did turn it up once.
Baron Corbin was booked pretty damn strong though in NXT. He wasn't booked weak.
For a while, he was losing a lot at the end, but he had that streak for a while where he was winning matches in under a minute. So, Matt, what else did FTR say on Jim Cornette's podcast?
Oh man, they were going to town. They do a good job of letting one another talk because it's hard to talk with a tag team partner and both get your stuff in. Mm-hmm. But they just came across as two North Carolina boys that will smash you in the mouth for making an entire web series online using their stuff, making fun of them, saying F the Revival without asking, and receipts coming. And they weren't saying it in a working way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They just struck me as, it was I thought it was good. I really did. And and then they did a really good interview with Schiavone. I keep saying his name wrong. Tony Schiavone. I saw it on the web today. I saw it online today. You guys got to go check it out. You check out both, honestly. It was like an hour and a half or take on the Cornette one. Huh. And just they know so much, obviously, about wrestling history. And as a wrestler, whenever I hear that with younger guys wrestling, it's like I get chicken skin because I know they eat, sleep, and drink it. It's not just a work. You can tell within their work that it's not a work, right? But by the same token, you hear them verbalize about what they're, how passionate they are about this, how much they gave up for it. They talk about Vince McMahon not being a huge fan of his cup of tea, and their conversations with him and with Triple H, how they were Triple H's boys, and then when they got brought in roster, next thing I know, they're doing jobs for DX and NWO.
Right, 2-on-1 or Strowman, like they were. And, the Usos putting Icy Hot in their jocks and stuff.
But they had good attitudes. They had some ridiculous outfits they were supposed to wear before they finally quit.
Have you seen that?
Like, yes, I have. It's ridiculous. And it was supposed to be a mocking of, like, 80s wrestlers, right? It was supposed to be, like, the Fabulous Ones combined with all these other 80s-centric tag teams of the past. And they had good attitudes about that. They weren't like, hell no. They were like, they laughed when they saw it. But they're like, you know what? We'll take this. We'll make this work too. I love that attitude.
Yeah.
I'm their biggest fan. I really am. I love them.
I think they're great. I think so. It took me like 6 months to get which one was Scott Dawson, which one was Dash.
I use your
Dash Wilder.
mnemonic for remembering that. The Dash was the one that was
Dashing with the hair.
I just got a text message from Kevin Nash. I'll be right back.
Well,
Okay.
tell him to come on.
See, that was my Captain Over smirk, by the way.
Hold on one second.
Ski asking, why doesn't WWE book Elias correctly? I mean, what's correct at this point? The guy is like evergreen entertainment talent. I mean, he's almost got a gimmick that's so good he doesn't have to wrestle. He just has to like have a guitar smashed over him or smash a guitar over someone every once in a while.
I agree with the guy. I think they've made him too one-dimensional. He needs to drop the guitar, actually. I think he's got the look. He's got the physique to be a big star. He's not very good in the ring. He needs to work with guys that can bring him up, and they haven't been doing that. They're just using him as entertainment. And I think he could be a lot more than that.
Yeah.
The Revival, I gotta say, not Dash. Who's so? What are their names again? Dax Harwood and
Cash Wilder.
Wheeler.
Yeah.
Wheeler.
Dash. Yeah.
Dax Harwood. Is it Cash? Was Cash Dash or was Cash Scott?
I haven't figured that out yet, Raj. You gotta give me a way to remember that one.
All right. The bald one. The bald guy. Scott Dawson. He's really good on the mic, and I think he can be.
Yes.
He's really good. Dax Hardcastle. All right. Let's. You want to take a couple more questions?
What do we got? What do you like?
You know what?
Scrolling back to the super chats.
Oh no, I screwed that up. The video is frightening. Like he's like bleeding from the mouth at the beginning. All right. I had to do it once.
Why was that music really quick? Why was that music on?
Just a top.
What was it from? I'm saying.
That's the Blinding Lights, the weekend.
Raj's theme song. His drinking song.
Next time I'm gonna rise up as that song is playing.
You know when Raj goes to Vegas, you know when he like walks into the bar, he's just envisioning it in slow motion, that song playing. Like that's what he hears in his head.
There we go. NWO Raj.
Dorian Spradlin, $4.99. What do you think they'll do next with Dexter Loomis?
Who cares?
And with Freddie Voorhees tag team.
Freddie Voorhees is a solid name for an indie wrestler.
I like Dex. I like. What was his name in the Impact?
Darn it.
God,
He's really good. He's right. He's a good wrestler. God darn it. He was like a creeper. What was his name?
Yeah, the creeper. Sam Shaw. Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
Sam Shaw.
There you go.
I think that has more legs than Dexter Loomis.
Yeah, he did a good creeper gimmick with like Christy Hemme, I remember. And he did a good job with that. It's just his name, Samuel Shaw. Just
right.
It's so generic.
It's not creepy enough.
Samuel Shaw sounds like someone who served in the American Revolution.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yes.
Take a beer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Very generic name. I don't know. You know, him, I know he's aligned with Velveteen Dream right now. I think they could get really freaking weird with it if him and Velveteen Dream had a one-on-one feud. That could go some places.
Loomis and him?
Yeah, Loomis and Dream.
I think that brings Dream down.
Yeah, maybe.
Matt, real quick, was he ripping on AEW while he was talking to the Revival, or did he stay like measured?
No. Oh no. No. He went all in, as they would say, and yeah, they did too a little bit. Not as bad as Jimmy did, obviously, but They made note of it by saying, well, obviously we're not under contract because there's no way we'd be able to even come on your show.
Huh. That's interesting. I mean,
interesting.
I mean, I can see why AEW is not signing them to a contract yet without, crowds and everything. You don't want to be, giving big contracts yet. But
I don't think it's because they're not wanting to sign them to a big contract yet. I think it's them being smart about their business. I think they ultimately will.
Yeah, I mean, where else?
They have some good like Jimmy's big thing was like, what other tag teams are in this company that could look like they could whip you? Name one. You know what I mean? And while he's right by that, he still doesn't. I don't know how to say it. Like I love those tag teams. I think, Ortiz and them, like they're freaking awesome tag team.
Yeah.
So even though Jungle Boy and what's his name? God dang, I'm terrible.
Luchasaurus.
I should be fired. Luchasaurus,
I'm Mr. Conspiracy Theory, but I do think they're signed also. I don't think there's any way Tony Khan would put them on TNT like this without having a contract.
He did that with Jeff Cobb.
Yes, they will do this. Again,
so.
They would never let him on Jimmy. You hear how Jimmy talks about that show?
That's true.
The wrestlers and Tony Khan? There's no way.
Arn Anderson only signed just now with a 3-year deal, so he had been on TV for a while without being exclusive.
No.
I do think. Here we go. I do think Justin Lopez with the $5 super chat saying they hated how Cody said they weren't the best tag team because in NXT they get to practice their matches. They felt it was a slap in the face.
Because they're right. I love the Young Bucks. I've always said it for years. I'm literally physically their biggest fan. But to do those matches, you cannot call those on the fly. It is impossible, no matter how good you are, because the spots are so choreographed. There's no way you can't at least walk through it. You have to. The way the Revival wrestles, on the other hand, absolutely not. You do not have to rehearse any of that. That is stuff you can absolutely call on the fly and talk about backstage, not get in the ring and walk through. There's no doubt about that. So they have a right to feel pissed about that. That is a slap in their face, and I'm glad to see them take it that way. That shows they have pride in their work.
So, Matt, I want to get your opinion on this, because I feel like AEW has the weakest women's division in all of wrestling as far as Impact, WWE, AEW. And I think their tag division is kind of weak because they didn't put the tag titles on the Young Bucks. Kenny Omega and Paige, they're a makeshift tag team. They're not like a true tag team as you would think about it. So,
you're right.
And I think the Revival they can help change that. I think the Young Bucks need to have the titles, or the Revival need to have the titles, and that's the feud, and that could be a main event. That could be a pay-per-view main event.
So Charlotte tweeted out. I'm sorry, Matt.
I've been waiting for years to see this matchup between Bucks and then FTR.
Yeah.
So Charlotte tweeted out tonight, I've been in a lot of wrestling rings lately. I know you all know. Sharing the ring with Rhea Ripley and Io Shirai tonight was a continuation of the legacy of the NXT women's division. It's interesting. I mean, maybe she's done. Maybe, and she's even, I guess this was in response to the main event tonight, saying Paige, Natty, Sasha, Becky, Bayley, Asuka, Shayna, and so many more. This belongs to you now. Congratulations, Io Shirai. Maybe Charlotte's done with NXT for a while.
Last week, the women's tag match got more viewers than Mike Tyson on AEW.
Really?
Yeah. That was the highest rated thing of the whole night, was the women's tag match with Charlotte and Chelsea Green against, I'm forgetting, Io Shirai and someone.
Which is why they should have their own show.
Yeah.
Yes.
And when people say, like, the women don't draw or anything, it's like, they do.
That's what I'm saying, man. There's no one on 205 Live that it's not the same. I mean, but speaking of which, though, it's also funny that, and then this is something Cornette, I read the secondhand quotes, it's like Orange Cassidy is one of the biggest draws in AEW. Like, we're in very interesting times now in terms of what people actually want to see.
Yeah. I mean, it depends what you call it draw. Like, bringing in new fans, we're not seeing that yet.
But that's what it is. It's in the meaning of the word. It means that you sell out arenas. You draw people
Right.
to the arena more than if you're not there. Hulk Hogan on house show loops, for example, was a draw. Everyone wanted to clamor. They had an A roster and a B roster doing house shows at the same time. Everybody wanted to be on Hogan's house shows because he was a draw. He drew fans into the arena.
Right.
Orange Cassidy is not drawing more fans that weren't there beforehand into an arena. I will argue nobody is, though, currently in professional wrestling.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah. Ebony Washington, interesting point.
Jericho's the closest.
John Cena's the last straw.
Yeah. Jericho's close in the sense that he makes a difference. Like if he's on a card, he might make a little difference on the tickets, but he's probably it.
Well, Ebony Washington saying the cat's out of the bag. Most people just want to be entertained. I think that's part of it. I mean, like even with Tyson,
been out of the bag my whole life.
I know, but more so even now with Tyson. We talked about this a couple weeks ago with Tyson versus Jericho. People want to see Tyson box again. Like Tyson and Jericho, like Tyson versus Orange Cassidy, at least would be a very entertaining match. Matt, that's a
TV match.
Raj made a face about Tyson versus Orange Cassidy. That would be entertaining as hell. Tyson versus Jericho, whatever.
That's a bigger deal.
You know that it's a bigger deal, but it'd be way hilarious to watch.
Orange Cassidy. One's a TV match. One you could draw pay-per-view buys off.
But Tyson in a predetermined fake fight. Like, at least with Orange Cassidy, there's going to be antics. It'll be entertaining.
There are. Listen, guys. Here's the thing with Tyson. There's so many younger fans now watching. One of my things I was wondering is, do you think the ratings weren't so great because the younger fans clicking around don't give a crap? Like, they don't know Mike Tyson like we know Mike Tyson.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? It's not the same Austin Tyson that we saw.
This Tyson is like the fun-loving, kind of like funny. He used to be a badass, but he's just kind of a funny guy now.
Does 20-something-year-old fans know that?
Yeah.
I think that's how they see him. Whereas our Tyson that we saw was the baddest man on the planet.
But did they see him? They didn't see him fight like we did.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Kids. Yeah. No,
kids, 1986.
Yeah, no, I agree 100%. I think they see Tyson as like a meme, like a funny guy now, not as a pay-per-view box office draw like we saw him. You know, like we saw Tyson as this, and still to this day he still is that. You know, it's kind of like Chuck Liddell when he still does something. It's still he's not close to Tyson, but it still means something. But anyway. Well, this was good times, guys.
You got any super chats? Anything else?
We could do this last super chat. Ryan Bonney saying, giving the WWE women their own show will give more airtime for the men mid-card talent to shine on SmackDown and Raw. That's a big mistake. Those are going to be the most viewed shows. You don't want to take the women off those shows.
But I don't think that 10 minutes is going to make a huge difference for men's representation.
Yeah, Mojo Rawley's not going to. All of a sudden,
I do worry the show would feel so bland without the women on it, though. That is something I'd be concerned with for what it's worth.
You need the women on it.
Yeah, it's just, and that's the thing. I think more women would be good right now, but they're just not invested in that. Wrestling enthusiast Buck99 saying can't wait to watch AEW on WWE Network in 15 years.
Jeez.
Yeah, we'll see what happens there.
I will say this: wrestling is better when everyone is doing better, and you know. With WWE's, their ratings in the toilet right now. AEW, their ratings aren't on fire either. They did a good rating last week, but the better wrestling does, the better it is for all of us.
Better it is for Raj.
All of us. I mean, don't you like it when when it's popular and you know it's not a chore to watch?
Yes, I do.
Why has it become more of a chore? I was thinking about this today. So we've been doing this podcast together for about 4 years now in this incarnation. Why it was like, is part of it because we have to watch it, or is it like legitimately gotten less good?
No,
because I remember, I remember liking it a lot more for the first 2 years.
It's less good.
I mean, I would not be watching wrestling right now in this era.
Who's honking their horn like that?
Someone outside. Anyway.
You open your window and please tell them to stop.
Well, we're wrapping up anyhow. Raj's car is getting broken into as we speak.
I know.
Anyhow, so if you haven't yet, Text Blueprint to 22525. Kick some funds down there to Matt Morgan in his campaign.
You'll get sent back a link, and then you just press that link, and you can go right on to a secure, encrypted site and donate using your card.
And people know that.
Guys, thank you.
And people know I lean a little left. I'm center left, but Matt is one of those guys that I know he has the interest of the people guys. Always, and so I am donating to him, and I do believe that he is
Thanks, brother.
The best person for that job.
Absolutely.
Thank you guys so much, and thank you fans in the chat room as always. For real, thank you.
So we're gonna be back here in 24 hours. God, 24 hours exactly from now, almost.
That's gonna be a long day.
Yeah. Yes.
Raw. Raw is the worst. I keep trying to trade Justin.
It is. I don't blame you. It is the worst of the bunch to watch. It is.
Yeah.
So until then, he's at BP Matt Morgan. He's at Raj Giri _303. I'm at Glenn Rubenstein. We'll catch you back here on the Wrestling Inc. podcast. Take care.
Thanks, guys.